Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. We sure appreciate everyone coming on, and thank you again for your faithfulness. Jenny, good morning. How are you? Mike from Norland. Karen, good morning to you. And Rosalinda, faithful followers. Jocelyn, good morning from Baxter. Sandra, good morning to you. Kim from Timmins, dear friend. Linda, St. Jude. Jean, Argene. Cease, the Netherlands. Well, hello. I bet you it's later in the day over there. Jean, Esther, and Krista. And wait a minute, Cindy from Alberta. I think it was Cindy. Susan, hold on, went by me. Hey, Serpa, how are you? Tamanetla. Krista. Oh, Chris from Alberta. Good morning, bright and early, Susan. Serpa, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for coming on. See, as soon as I touch this thing, bad things happen. Bernice, and Eileen, and Laura, and Morris, and Wendy. Good morning to you, Wendy. Barbara, Jordan, our dear friend. Hi, Jordan. How are you? Jeanette from our staff. Good morning to you. And Donna, Bell Valley. Dots, how are you? Jocelyn, Sturgeon, good morning. Serpa, we appreciate you coming on. Nick from our staff. Dove, I like that. Sandra. Okay, so we got a good crew on this morning already. We're going to talk today about horror-mones. Specifically, we're gonna spend some time on the thyroid because of the study that I brought to you yesterday. Okay, so boy, did we ever get a big response to blockbuster news concerning, out of the New England Journal of Medicine, shocking news, right? That 1/4 of the adult population, 25% of the adult population in North America has fatty liver. And let me tell you another thing. The vast majority of people don't even know they have it. And we're going to talk about why that is today. But a little refresher, okay, just on yesterday. For those who weren't on with us yesterday, refresh, repeat. One of the things we talked about, one, how pervasive fatty liver is. And when they said 1/4 of the 25%, think of the millions of people that have fatty liver. And by the journal of the New England Journal of Medicine, they say right in their study, the vast majority of people don't even know that. I'm telling you guys, it's higher than that. Because studies have shown that 88% of the population have some form of metabolic syndrome. And if you have metabolic syndrome, you have, if not full-blown fatty liver, you have a start of it. Why? And we talked about that. And this is going undetected. And the reason is because they wait till you do an ultrasound. Yeah, maybe your liver enzymes are higher, but, and that concerns doctors, it should. But a lot of times the liver enzymes haven't gone higher. So when they do a blood test, they don't see it. But what they're missing And you guys got this. I scrolled yesterday after the live, and I scrolled your answers because I was looking. Remember, I asked the question, what blood test would confirm that we have some form of fatty liver? And you guys got the answer. Triglycerides, 3 fat balls. It's how your body operates when there's too much fat in the suitcase. And one person said it yesterday, but that's all right. I didn't have to go in and correct the person. You guys did, because she, I don't think she listened to the whole podcast, and she just made a comment. Well, why is Dr. Martin telling us not to eat fat if fat causes fatty liver? Yeah, but, and that's all right. You got to start somewhere, guys. You think, oh, I eat a steak and I don't eat that fat because that's saturated fat. I want to get lean ground beef. Why? Because I don't want that ugly fat in there. But guys, you know this. But for people that are coming on new, fat don't make you fat. Well, let me rephrase it. Saturated fat, animal fat, doesn't make you fat. Now, there is some bad fats. Vegetable oils, and again, they're a million miles away from being vegetables, okay? So when you look at canola oil, and most oils are made, they're called PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids. They're bad oils, and they're found in the middle aisles of your grocery stores, from your cookies to your crackers to, soups and you name it, salad dressings or whatever. Most of them are bad oils. They're made with hydrogenated oils, industrialized, made in a vat, made in a factory oils. Procter and Gamble. I'm going to name names. Crisco. They started it all. Don't use butter. Use Crisco. And the industry, when it preserves things, it keeps things in a package for a long time, right? Don't need to be refrigerated, a lot of things like that. But that's what makes you fat. Those bad oils, because they're always surrounded by carbohydrates and crappy carbs and sugars. That's why we repeat. What makes your liver get fat in it? Not fat. Bad fats and carbs. Bread, pasta, rice, cereal, sugar, sweets, pastries, juice, cookies. It gums up the liver. It makes the Costco parking lot fill up. And when that happens, it don't take long, 1 week of bad eating, you start fatty liver. Isn't that incredible? That's why the reset. Why do you think it took me years to get all the data that I needed? To realize that you can empty a liver in 6 days. 6 days on the road, and I'm going to empty my liver tonight. You can empty it. You want an empty liver so that it can do its job. What happens when the liver gets fat? A lot of bad things. A lot of bad things. We talked about it yesterday. Lots of bad things with fatty liver. But today I want to hone in. I want to hone in on your thyroid. And ladies, this is for you. This is for you, ladies. Mostly. Because only a woman understands horror-mones. And I'm going to answer the question. Here's the question. Why would the reset, why would eating eggs, meat, and cheese help my thyroid? Okay, I'm going to answer that question. Okay? I think I answered it in the reset, but I'm going to answer it again today. Why would the reset help your thyroid? Here's the answer. Okay? Now, we're entitling this soon-to-be podcast, The Fog of War. Okay? The Fog of War. What do I mean by that? When you have fatty liver, remember, not easy to detect. The vast majority of the population have it, and they don't even know it. And blood tests don't show it. Well, they do, but what I mean is your doctor, they don't know this because they got away from biochemistry. They got away from looking at, imagine, even though they do this test pretty routinely, if you do a lipid profile, they're interested in cholesterol every day. Cholesterol. Doc, my cholesterol. My doctor wants me to go on statins. My doctor's not happy with my cholesterol. I got a phone call. My cholesterol is too high. And like I said yesterday, did he give you a high five? I called you to give you an award. Your cholesterol's gone up. Whoopee! That's what you should scream. Don't do it. They'll get them mad. Don't get them angry. Because they don't understand. Nutrition 101. The key is triglycerides, not cholesterol. TG, 3 fat balls that come out of your liver when the liver is full, when the suitcase is full, when the Costco parking lot is full, when the minivan is full. You got no more room to put one more bag in. Ladies, do you know what that's like? A man's suitcase weighs nothing. A woman's, they bring everything but the kitchen sink in it. They bring a little city. It always amazes me how much they can get in that suitcase compared to a man, okay? Anyway. But guys, so what happens? The moment, doesn't take long, the moment your liver starts accumulating fat, you create a condition inside your body called inflammation. Now take that step backwards. You've got to take it a step back. Inflammation's not Houdini. There's always a reason for inflammation. Non-injury inflammation, right? Non-infection inflammation is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about an infection. You know what really makes you unwell if you get, let's say you got a bad cold or the flu bug. What really makes you it? It's your body's response to it, right? Inflammation comes from infection. It's your body, the ambulance system, coming to the area, coming to your head. It's bringing in extra blood, extra enzymes, extra protein, extra everything. It's the ambulance coming to the area. You have an infection. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about inflammation without an infection. Did you read our email yesterday? What happens? It creates like a fog. And you ever driven in heavy fog? I have. I mean, between that and a snowstorm, extremely dangerous. You can't see. Well, when you have fatty liver, you have inflammation. And you have inflammation because you were using too much insulin to make fatty liver. So when you're eating crap, your body has to secrete an enormous amount of inflammation. Okay, you had one bad cheat meal. Not good, but you'll get over it. But if you're a carboholic, my name is Tony, and I'm a carboholic, you know what happens? You got constant drip of insulin, and that creates inflammation. You see, today, if you talk to many of my guru colleagues, and I love them dearly, but oftentimes they're not thinking. I tell them that. Yeah, inflammation, yes, but inflammation's not Houdini. The Martin Clinic coined that, by the way. Inflammation's not Houdini. Something causes inflammation. I remember my son screaming years ago, "Dad, it's sickness without a fever." I said, "Son, that's genius." Yeah, sickness without a fever. Because remember, before antibiotics, oh, and I'm gonna bring something new, by the way. It just reminded me. Oh, this new study that came out on the virus. Unreal. You got to hear it. You got to hear it. It'll blow you away. Inflammation without a fever. See, 100 years ago, before the advent of antibiotics, people died from a fever. They'd get bacterial meningitis, or they'll get some form of sepsis or whatever, and they had no antibiotics and it killed them. Tuberculosis. Well, even today, tuberculosis still kills in the third world especially. It's making a comeback. But those are all fevers, and that's your body's response, and it can over-respond and can be dangerous. So have you ever driven in fog? Inflammation, what it does, cells and especially hormones. Okay, Now let me bring you this, okay? I got to show it to you again. I've done this in the past, but what I'm showing to my audience here, okay, for those who will listen to this on the podcast, there is a teaspoon. You see it? Okay? So you guys know what a teaspoon is. See that? 1 teaspoon. When I do my cooking, you don't want me cooking, okay? You want to starve to death? Put me in the kitchen. Okay? That's a teaspoon. That's how much, listen to what I'm going to say. That's how much in 1 year, of hormone that your thyroid secretes. In a year, only 1 teaspoon. See how finicky the thyroid is? How finicky it is? So, and hormones need to communicate with each other. Right? Because what happens, you make, T5, T4, T3, T2, T1. 1 teaspoon a year. Boy, it don't take much to mess up your thyroid. If you have fatty liver, you know what happens? You know where your T4 gets converted to T3? Because T3 really is what makes your thyroid work properly. T3. And it needs to communicate. But when you have inflammation from insulin, from fatty liver, they have trouble. They're in fog. It's in a fog. They have trouble communicating with each other. Now your thyroid doesn't work properly. And, listen to, again, your blood tests come back pretty normal. Guys, whenever I can train any kind of physician on hormones, even endocrinologists, for heaven's sakes, they look at numbers. They're number orientated. They've been hijacked by the lab. They're not looking at the right numbers even. But if there's inflammation, there's a fog. Now your thyroid don't work properly. It's off. And you get weight gain. You just look at food and get weight gain. Of course, if you have Graves, which is, again though, I always tell people, even if you get a hyperthyroid, there's a miscommunication of your hormones. There's a fog of war. You get weight gain. You get brittle nails. You get thinning hair. You get thinning eyebrows. Dry skin. Okay, ladies, you know your body better than anyone else knows it. Oh, doc, I just look at food and I gain weight. You know how many times I heard that? 1 million. I just look at it. I don't have to eat it. And I gain weight. I'm a very observant guy, you know. Rosie laughs. Okay? Because if I'm in the mall and I can tell a mile away, you know what I often would tell Rosie? See that lady over there? She's got thyroid problems. But remember, the thyroid's just a puppet. There's a lot of things that pull their strings. Numero uno, liver. That's why the reset is so good, because the reset empties the liver. It empties it. It lowers the triglycerides. It empties the Costco parking lot. Now you lower inflammation. Plus, there's less fog. T4 and T3 communicate with each other, and TSH, and they start talking to each other, and they can see. You know when the fog lifts? You ever seen that in the morning? Oh, the fog's lifting. Boy, I didn't even know there was a sun. I thought the sun disappeared. And then it comes out and you're, oh, is that ever bright? You know what? You got it? And you get, and remember, there's inflammation is not Houdini. So what do we talk about? Okay, because we're going directly to the liver. And the thyroid. Leaky gut. 20%, 80% of your conversion from T4 to T3 occurs where? Where? In your liver. Okay? 20% occurs in your gut. You got leaky gut. You got dysbiosis. You got yeast coming out the wazoo. A lot of women, millions and millions of women, have yeast coming out the wazoo. And they don't really know it because nobody's ever talked to them about it. And yeast disrupts the gut. You don't even have to have symptoms. Oh, you might. You might have bloating. You might have gas. You might not be, your digestive tract. But a lot of times that yeast goes elsewhere, including your liver, into your brain, onto your skin, into your sinuses, into your lungs. We talked about that all the time. Today's not the first time, and I guarantee it will not be the last time. Okay. I'll talk to you about leaky gut, because even in your gut, the conversion of T4 to T3. Now, ladies, add a very complicating factor. Okay, so you got liver, and liver is food. Liver is food. Okay? Your liver gets affected by sugar, and sugar needs a storing place. It cannot stay in your blood. It just can't. It's so super dangerous. One is a quick killer. If your blood sugars are high, it always ends poorly. Always ends poorly. But ladies, you have another complicating factor that men don't. Okay? Men don't have this. They're called your ovaries. Ooh, horror-mones. Because when you have too much estrogen compared to your progesterone, ladies, you're messing up your thyroid. I.e., examples. A woman has a baby. I'm not into this gender thing, okay? I'm sorry. Women have babies. Men, we're big babies. If you're married, you got a big baby there. You got another addition to your family. Your husband, he's a big baby. Mostly. They don't don't understand because they don't get hormones like you do, okay? Because you got ovaries. A woman has a baby. She leaves all her progesterone in that placenta. That's normal. But for a lot of women, they do not make enough progesterone once they've had the baby, and they can get, oh, Dr. Martin, baby number 2, I gained 50 pounds. Why did that happen? Well, it was your thyroid, but it was coming from the ovaries that got imbalanced. And if estrogen is dominant, you do not convert T4 to T3, and then you have horror-mones. You see, guys? Ooh. Teenagers. They got a double whammo. Their body's making too much estrogen, okay? They got bad menses, bad skin. They got PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and they got 2 bad hormones in combination, insulin and estrogen. That ain't good. You know what that does? That slows your thyroid to a crawl. To a crawl. See, the complicating factor of the ovaries. Boy, you better understand that, because you'll never fully understand the thyroid unless you put the pieces of the puzzle together. I admit my training was poor. You know, oh, you want your thyroid to work properly? Well, just, make sure the thyroid's got enough selenium and iodine, okay? That was my training. Not that it's bad, but it didn't go into hey, it's complicated. Women are complicated. They're complex. Why do you think 90-something% of people that have trouble with their thyroid, it's women? It's not men. Now, men, it doesn't mean I got a thyroid. I don't think about it. How many women? Is my thyroid, doc? I got all those symptoms, I got estrogen dominance and I got, bad, my skin ain't good, my hair's not good, and my nails are not good, and, I'm tired all the time, and I'm gaining weight, or I'm losing weight. Not many. But if you have hyper, everything goes on, like your brain you can't even slow it down. Your thyroid is your metabolism. But you got to look at all the other things that go with it and the fog of war. That's why, again, ladies, I can't emphasize this enough. I just can't. You have to get your liver emptied to let it work. Now, one more. Here's another thing that people don't realize. This is sort of a hidden. Ladies, it don't happen to men almost ever. You get low levels of ferritin. I watch for that. The thyroid. You get high, you get low levels of ferritin. In women, it's usually not high. In men, it can get high. They got fatty liver. You're showing me hemochromatosis, high ferritin, high red blood cell count. If you show me your blood work and I see a high red blood cell count, I go, yeah, it's a lot of times it's just your liver's gummed up. It's messing up your thyroid. You're not converting properly. Now, let me, and this is a big thing too. One of the signs of this, insomnia. You're exhausted, but you don't sleep. Oh, that thyroid. That thyroid. But, okay, so now, insulin, inflammation. Insulin packs up the liver. It's the traffic cop that's packing up your liver. That's why it's always good, ladies, it's always good to get muscles. So you have bins to store fat instead of your liver. You want bins. The bigger the bin, the less fat goes into your liver. Okay, got that? Now here's another factor, okay? Oh, gee, I'm running out of time. One more factor on the thyroid. Really messes up your thyroid. It's called your adrenals. Cortisol. Cortisol messes up. It creates inflammation on its own. Why? Because it's not meant to last. If it goes on, it creates havoc in the body. One of the areas it does is it messes up the conversion. Your thyroid, it creates inflammation, creates even more fog. Cells can't communicate with each other. Hormones are not communicating. Cortisol. See, in my days of practice, I measured all of that. I looked at all of it. You better put those pieces of the puzzle together. But it's, again, emphasizing the finickiness, okay? I'm just showing that 1 teaspoon of thyroid hormone in a year, that's all. Your thyroid is finicky at the best of times. At the best of times. Okay. Yeah, talking about sweating. I'm worked up this morning. Okay, so tomorrow, this week only, question and answer. Tomorrow, send in your questions. We're going to do it on a Thursday. Okay? Friday, I'm off. Got it? Okay. We talked about an email for 2 sessions. If you're not getting that email, you want it. You want it in writing, guys. Make sure you get our emails. Sign up for it. I notice how many people are signing up for our private Facebook group. Good for you. We appreciate that. Good. Keep it up. And the reset, the book. I'm telling you how good it is. Thank you for making it #1. We appreciate that. We do. We're trying to get the message out, guys. And you're our little disciples. Okay? We appreciate it. We really do. Okay? So, we love you. And I don't say that without meaning it. We do. We really appreciate our audience. And thank you so much. Talk to you soon.